Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 1 of the new series, and it's the Eduard Spitfire Mk. Now, a little bit of a departure from regular service because this series is going to be a buddy build with a good online friend of mine, Rick Lawler from the Propaganda channel. Now, Rick and I have known each other for quite some years now online, just you know, occasionally bat and balling, and it'd be fantastic to meet him one day actually. He's one of my favourite modelers, and it all started with Rick's model of an abandoned Mi-24 helicopter in 35th scale, and that model completely blew me away and was very inspirational. In fact, was the inspiration for a number of my derelict models. Not long ago, I decided to reach out to Rick and, oh God, I hate that phrase. It's such a headquarters word, isn't it? Reached out. I messaged Rick and I came up with the idea of why not do a buddy build. Each of us step out of our comfort zone. More of that on my part in a moment. But for Rick, he's very much a dyed-in-the-wall diorama and sort of armour guy, and I thought that I'd love to do a Malta diorama, but I just don't have the skill at all. So I'd love to see Rick with his weathering skills and his diorama skills do a Malta Spitfire. Myself, I'm a massive fan of the Malta period of the Second World War and that theatre, not least because the Spitfires have a completely different range of camouflage schemes. There's lots of variety. There's still a lot of conjecture about that, and more of that coming up. And it would lead to some really interesting models. Now, my bit of the stepping out of the comfort zone, I'm going to do a little sort of base vignette for mine. I'm not going to go down the full revetment and greeblies and all that kind of stuff. It's literally going to be a little bit of groundwork, but it'd be a nice introduction, I think, into that side of things. So Rick is stepping massively outside of his comfort zone, and I'm just dipping my big toe out of my comfort zone. But it'd be interesting to see how we get on. What I'll do is, in my series, is I will, I'm going to do my standard, break it down into different parts, but I'm going to send some edited bits to Rick, and then Rick's going to put that in his, and then what I'll do is, it all depends on the timelines. I'm going to start mine straight away. Rick hasn't got his kit yet, but as soon as it arrives, he's going to get started. And what I'd like to do is knit some of Rick's model into my videos, and he's going to do the same, and it'll be this collaborative buddy build type thing. But I'm still going to do the separate episodes for Cockpit, construction, painting and weathering, and I might do another one at the end just on my groundwork. And that might be a good one to shoehorn some of Rick's diorama expertise into that one. And so you can learn from the master. Obviously, I'll be linking all of his videos on my channel as well, so you can see his complete progress. Okay, that's the collaborative thing. What about my model? In fact, models, because this is the dual combo. So I got this when it first came out, and it's been sat in the stash ever since. I've always wanted to do it. I love the Spitfire 5. It's arguably my favourite mark of Spitfire, notwithstanding the Seafires, obviously. But as is normal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through some of the aftermarket bits and pieces, and then I'll leave the colour and scheme discussion at the end. What I will say though is I'm going to be doing both of these kits, the 5C and 5B. You get one of each in the box. I'm only going to film one of them. The other one I'm going to do is a photo build for a magazine, and but what I will do is insert pictures of that one as I go along. I don't know whether I'm going to do both at the same time or whether I'm going to do one and then do the other. What I'm probably going to do is film and build the 5C. Then I'll just build the 5B and take some photos along the way. And then what I'll do is I'll film the 5C and then I'll paint and photo the 5B. Excuse me, sorry for the croaky voice and the coughs, sneezes and splutters. I'm still recovering from man flu. So that's going to be the kind of structure of doing the two builds at the same time. Right, aftermarket bits. The first one is this. It's the Barracuda cast snapshot upgrade set for the cockpit. This, I'll give you the product code actually. It's BR48476. Roy does the Mark 9 snapshot upgrade set as well, and I've used that quite a few times on my Mark 9 builds. For me, these are pretty much essential. And I say that because the cockpit in the kit is very nice, but this just takes it to a completely another level. And it's not that expensive. It's less than 10 quid. The main highlights in this is you get a highly detailed open door. You get a new seat with molded in seat harness, resin seat harness, which I think is really cool. So especially if you're a fan of, sorry, if you're not a fan of photo etch, you can replace that. The seat is beautifully detailed, especially the padding on the back, much better than the kit part. And there's also lots of greeblies that go around the cockpit that either add missing detail, so it makes it a lot more busy looking, or replaces some of the detail and just lifts it up to that other level. So I'm a massive fan of these, and I pretty much use them in, well, I do use them in every 48 Spitfire build. So highly, highly recommended. So if you've got an Eduard Spitfire, go and get one of these. They're brilliant. Right, exhausts now, and I've got a quick boost set. I've also got this. This is from Rex, R-E-X-X. I bought this a while ago. There was a manufacturer, oh crumbs, I can't remember what they were called, but the exhausts were absolutely brilliant. And they were in metal, not white metal. I don't know what they're made of, but they were sort of tarnished metal. And these are exactly the same. And I used those previous ones a number of times, and they're absolutely brilliant because they look like burnt metal. They look like exhausts. They're amazing. You just stick them in. So I thought I'd give those a go, and we'll try then. So this is by Rex, R-E-X-X, and it's the number is 48010. It's Spitfire 5 fishtail exhausts universal. And yeah, now these are from Ukraine as well, so Slava Ukraine, big shout out to them. Like I say, I've also got the Quick Boost one because I've only got one set of these, so I bought these for the other kit. I don't know which way I'm going to use them. Right, the other ones that I don't know how I'm going to use, I need to do a little bit of research. While he says just try not to twat the microphone, are these. These are master barrels. So, I've got various sets here. Now, I've lost the sort of cover sheet for this, so I don't know what these ones are. They look like 5C smaller barrels. So that's that one. I've got the Mark 5 Spitfire C wing 20mm cannon in fairings. So this one is 48004. Now this one has all 4 long barrels in it, and also the caps for the other ones. So that's that one. I've got this one for the 5B. This is 48165. So this is the Browning 303 barrel type and Hispano 20mm cannon for the Eduard kit, and this has what looks like resin and brass 303 machine gun barrels, as well as the sticky out bits. But the sticky out bits, so this is for the 2B, 5B. So I'm wondering what sort of barrels these are, because they're actually quite short. So that's a bit confusing. The other one I've got is this one, which is 48003 for the Spitfire Mark 5B Hispano 20mm cannons in fairings. And these look like they're not a butt joint, but these are the longer type barrels. So what I'm going to have to do is I will definitely use the C-wing set, but for the 5B I've got a number of different barrels to choose from, so I'll have a look. Right, the last bit of aftermarket I've got is some masking sets. Now, those of you who've been watching just a little while will know that I've bought a Silhouette Portrait 3 cutter, and I'm doing my own masks. These are in the stash. I bought them some time ago, so I thought I'd bring them out and just use them because it's going to save a bit of effort. This one's for the Spitfire Mark 5B Tamiya. This is the Montex set. This is 48024, and obviously I'm not going to use the codes, but it has the early set of markings and also the later set of markings as well. I think it changed about 1942, something like that. So I can use those. I've also got this set from Newware, which is the Kabuki tape type masks. And I bought these because I should say actually, this is for the Mark 1. For the Tamiya kit, 61119. But I bought this because it's got the little cutouts for some of the Mark 1 bulges, and maybe they'll fit on the underwing. But also, the fuselage has got raised rivets on this particular kit, and vinyl doesn't like raised detail. I just thought it'd be easier to burnish them down. So I thought I'd have a go at these as well. Now, I will be designing my own masks for the specific aeroplane marking. Sorry, I keep knocking the microphone. Yeah, so I'll be designing my own masks for the markings, the aeroplane specific markings, the lettering and the stencils, and maybe some fuselage roundels as well, to replace the Montex set. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Right, before we get on to colour and markings, I'm just going to talk about the instruction booklet, which is absolutely brilliant. Oh, sorry, hang on. I've just dropped it and I keep hitting the microphone. I do apologise. Right, let me just move that out of the way. Right, that's a bit better. Right, what I really like about this instruction booklet is that, as you might be able to see, it is actually quite thick. It splits both the 5B and the 5C into separate parts. So it hasn't got the sort of options all the way through. So it's going to be really, really clear, which is cool. There's also some lovely set of markings in here. Lots of American ones. There is one Malta Spitfire, which is this one. And I'm not going to do this one. This is Claude Weaver's. He was an American pilot. See, this is the American boxing. I've got some photos of this one. It was shot down. And I do like their colour interpretations of it, but I'm not going to do that aeroplane. Colour interpretations. Absolute minefield for Malta Spitfires. Because the vast majority of Spitfires were repainted from the desert scheme. There were some desert ones out there, but they quickly found that the desert camouflage was wholly unsuited to Malta. Because primarily, obviously, Malta is a little island. I've been to Malta, actually. It's a lovely place. Been there quite a few times with the Navy. And we went on holiday when I was a teenager. I was all very excited. yeah, story of the Malta Spitfires and the camouflage schemes is a bit legendary and shrouded, he says, gesticulating and hitting the microphone again, shrouded in a bit of mystery. But I've got a couple of references. So the first one is a bit of a Bible when it comes to, sorry, try and get rid of the glare, Malta Spitfires. It's the Brian Couchy book. Extremely expensive because it's a very rare book. However, I got this direct from MMP, and you can see it for ridiculous prices, but this was about 35 euros direct from the publisher, and it's absolutely brilliant. Not only has it got discussions about the different batches of Spitfires when they came out, it's packed full of photographs, it's got some beautiful colour renderings of profiles, but it's also got a load of gouge about pilots. It's got all the serial numbers and codes and the fate of the airplanes, most of which were destroyed, certainly the earlier ones. But it's also got a bit of a diorama section in there as well, sort of pages like this of photos of revetments. And I've sent this to Rick for a few ideas. But yeah, really, really good reading. Now, I'm only a part way through this book. The other reference I have is this, which is Colour Conundrum. You can see it's less shiny. Published by Guideline. This is by Paul Lucas. And these are fantastic books. The third one, Colour Compendium, I should say. Sorry, Colour Conundrum. Compendium. This is number 1. Number 3 has just come out. It came out at Telford, and I got that for Christmas. But this one, the volume 1, has got all his Malta Spitfire articles in. Now, Paul is a historian, and Paul has gathered evidence from all over the place, including primary resources, to come up with his interpretation. He leans on the Couchy book, and he has done some further research. And actually, I'm going to use this with some of the photographs in the Couchy book. Now, in the Couchy book, there's quite a few desert camouflage Spitfires, which, like I say, a lot of them, if not most of them, were repainted. And this updates the Couchy book. Now, a 5B and a 5C. For the video, I think I'm going to go down the 5B route. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, so in part 2 of the Malta Spitfire, a Malta Story, oops, there are these. Not that one. Where is he? This one and this one. So these Spitfires were painted in, according to Paul, deep sky, dark slate grey, and the other side is either in light Mediterranean blue or sky blue and light Mediterranean blue. Now, I'm not going to have a debate here on this video about the validity of that scheme. Having read the article, it's very, very convincing. There is a separate article on, if I can find it, on the ones that are on the Wasp that were repainted, and he does, do I say, answer the question on were they non-specular sea blue, were they painted in ship paints and all that kind of stuff. His conclusion is they were dark Mediterranean blue because he found evidence that some of that paint was supplied to the ship, which kind of makes sense to me, and the whole background to it. So that's really, really interesting and really cool. But and all over single colour, yeah, no thanks. I really do like the sort of blue and the slate grey, because it's very close to the extra dot sea grey and slate grey over sky scheme, which was common for the earlier ones. And that's what I'm going to do the 5C in. I'm probably going to do one of these. He says holding it up. I know it's not a particularly good shot, but some of the 603 squadron aeroplanes looks like were painted before they were, some of them before they were loaded onto the ship, and others maybe on the ship in temperate sea ski. And that's what I'm going to do that in. What I have got in the back of the Couchy book is, as I said earlier, is a list of serials and codes in the delivery listings. I mean, big tables. And what I'm going to do is, for the 5C, the Operation Bowery one, is I'll probably use this book to do one of those. And I'll do a little bit more research on the blue and the slate grey. But that is going to be the plan. So to recap then, I'll be doing a 5B and a 5C. I'm probably going to do, more than likely, video the 5B and leave the 5C to a photo build. But I will be including some 5C bits and pieces as I go forward. And yeah, hopefully do some fantastic weathering, because the potential is massive. Right, there we go. I think I'll wrap up there. That's 20 odd minutes already of cold infested waffle. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to edit this up, and I'm going to make a start. There might be a little bit of an interruption because I'm actually moving house, effectively moving apartment, moving 2.5 hours up the road in a few weeks. So that might interrupt things, but yeah, really keen to get going. I've wanted to build Malta Spitfires for a long time, and yeah, can't wait to get started. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the propaganda channel, on Rick's channel, and I'll see you in part 2 for the cockpit as well. So yeah, looking forward to it. Cheers, bye-bye.